Everyone's like, oh my god, that must be so many calories. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, decided by my followers. Wish me luck. Savoury oatmeal. Two words I don't like to hear together. Yesterday I posted a little breakfast video on Instagram and I asked you all to comment your favourite breakfast recipes. Some of the responses I got were sardines with potatoes and broccoli, savoury oatmeal, and then ones I'd consider more usual in my day-to-day, like toast and peanut butter and cereal and milk. So I thought I wanted to try some of the things that maybe I hadn't tried before, or you know, just step outside of my comfort zone a little bit. It felt incredibly wrong to make my oats with water and to add things like turmeric and ginger. Also, I noticed partway through the recipe that I actually made enough for 4 people rather than 1. I wouldn't say it's quite 4 people, but I didn't fit everything into this bowl. It is a slightly smaller bowl, but I just liked the red. As it's savoury and peanut butter is pretty savoury, I think I'm gonna add a little addition. I think it's growing on me. I had to add a little bit more peanut butter, a little bit more peanut butter to convince my brain that this was a breakfast like usual. But actually, with that peanut butter, it was pretty good. I suppose I did choose a savoury oatmeal recipe that was on the sweet side with the carrots. To be honest, carrots and onions are the only things we have in, but it was pretty good. And that's a good thing considering I made another portion, so this again tomorrow. Thanks for the suggestions. Pesto. Health BS. Good morning. It's next day's Hannah here because yesterday's Hannah wasn't all that talkative. I just want to say that in yesterday's working from home kind of video, I actually worked a whole lot less than I often do in my weekend vlogs. And that's because I'm getting around to that time of the month where I feel like a turd, where I don't have any energy, where I don't have any motivation. It'd be that way sometimes. Anyway, more on that feeling like a turd later in the video when I do provide a tiny little update. But what I did for myself today in order to feel okay-ish, in order to get through the day, was 1. Have a loose idea of a routine. 2. Wear clothes that didn't draw attention to my body but still made me feel sort of badass. Pop of colour usually helps. 3. Get myself out of the house. And later get myself out of the house again. I hadn't planned to go to the gym, but I did. And I'm so thankful for it because the options at that point in my day were to continue forcing myself to work, which clearly wasn't working, or sit down on the couch and read, which I already did for the rest of the night. And I just felt like I needed to leave the house. So basically routine is a savior, but being able to be a bit flexible and get myself out of the routine in some other areas was really helpful too. Anyway, fingers crossed that today's better. I bloomin' love pesto. It's already 1 o'clock, which is quite late for me to have lunch, but I went to a little French meetup, had myself a mocha, and yeah, that kept me going. There's only 2 things I really like on the Curio Lounge menu in terms of drinks, and that's matcha latte and the mocha. And last time, one of the brought her daughter, and her daughter got a caramel frappe, I think it was, and everyone's like, oh my god, that must be so many calories. But there's calories on the menu, and actually, my drink was the exact same. I'm gonna go enjoy this. Hi, it's editing Hannah again, the next morning. I just want to say that this pesto, Tom later told me that it was a pistachio pesto, was really, really heavy. So that afternoon, I felt quite uncomfortable in my body. I felt quite heavy, felt like a bit tummy achy. It wasn't great, and I wasn't sure whether it was because of my change at breakfast or lunch, or if there was any stressors, or if it was just a random episode. It happens. But I felt a little bit meh, and I tried to meet myself where I'm at, just focusing on those denser frequent meals to still get those nutrients in, to still get that energy in. It's only in the evening, when I had more of this pesto for dinner, and then as a dessert, that I realized that that had been what had been upsetting my tummy. So that evening, I spent reading and watching Netflix, feeling a bit sorry for myself, but you know what? My clients always ask me, if I try something new, will it feel different in my body? Will I feel horrible? Will I start to restrict as a result? Because I don't want to restrict. If you want full food freedom, you're gonna have to add some more variety, and the only variable you can then control in that scenario is how you react. So keep trying new things, even if you do end up feeling like a turd. Try new things and don't restrict, because that is in your control. It is now the next day. I feel fine. Oftentimes when we go to bed, we wake up, we have a little reset. So don't let it put you off. It's not putting me off. A big Buddha bowl with everything you can find in the house. There's nothing in the house, but we'll make it work. I'm excited, let's do this. I washed my hair with shower gel. I mean, that's why I've recorded here and there, but I've barely spoken to the camera at all, because I'm just not with it. I'm really, really not. And all I want to do is get into bed, but at the same time I know for myself that that's not going to make me feel any better, and that's not going to help me sleep tonight. So I found my middle ground. It's not until about 5 minutes ago that I acknowledged that today has been a pretty difficult day. It's now 5:20. I'm having myself a little kombucha, taking things slow. I might just do a bit of tidying up, cook dinner. That's it for today. I think I need to meet myself where I'm at. I've also not been that hungry, so I've just focused on dense, frequent meals and snacks, trying to push through with that. If this was someone else, you know, going through this period of demotivation, unmotivatedness, sort of a deep sadness before their period every single month, I know I would tell them to take it slow on those days. I know I would tell them to meet themselves where they're at. I know I would tell them that they need to give themselves some grace. So I'm telling myself that now. Cheers to that, I suppose.